Hey guys, welcome to Doc Holley Talks and the relationship series. So the first video I did was about communication. I talked about the passive-aggressive continuum, and I got a really great question I wanted to address in today's video. So the question was about basically, what do I do with family members, for example, who may have that manipulative, aggressive communication style, and they say things like, you don't care about me, sorry I'm not like you, or stop acting like you're better than everyone else. And so when they say things like that, I think what is so difficult as the recipient of a message like that is that, like I mentioned in my first video, that manipulative style is really good at turning the tables so that the responsibility for the problem, obviously there's a problem when there's some difficult emotions in a relationship, there's, somebody has some hurt feelings, like especially if you are having the hurt feelings, you're bringing it to them, that's something that they can't tolerate. They can't tolerate holding the responsibility for having caused some harm or having caused some negative feelings for you. And so because they can't tolerate that sense of responsibility, and there's reasons for that, and I can certainly talk to that, but a lot of it has to do with feeling, internally really bad about themselves and feeling this sort of all badness. Like if I've hurt you, if you see me as a hurtful person, then I feel all bad about myself, which is intolerable. So I have to turn it around and I have to get you to see my pain. And the way I can do that is to make you feel bad and make you feel guilty, make you see how you are hurting me. And so by saying things like, you don't care about me, or stop acting like you're better than everyone else, stop being a jerk, basically, they put the responsibility in their minds on you. And because you may be the type of person that is used to solving problems by taking responsibility, something that a passive, if you're on the other end of the spectrum, you may have that tendency to say, what have I done? What about this is mine? Because the other person's feelings are more important than mine. Let me put my needs aside. Let me think about how I can help this person feel better. Let me think about how I can fix it, because this person's telling me that I need to fix it. And so I just jump right into that role very easily. So like I will always say, the first step in changing any of these dynamics, or sort of even shifting how you react, respond, understand these dynamics, is to first just really notice that it's happening. I think our tendency is to be stuck in these patterns for so long in our lives that they're automatic, that they're mindless, that we find ourselves in the midst of them, or even after them, kind of licking our wounds or feeling horrible about ourselves, feeling guilty, and thinking, what in the heck just happened? How did I get here again? How did I go from having this great intention of communicating my feelings or being helpful, trying to have a healthy, good conversation with someone in my life, and all of a sudden I am feeling guilty and they think I'm a terrible person, or they feel like I've hurt them. So it's very confusing. So having mindfulness, having awareness of exactly what's happening and what is the dynamic that's happening in that moment is definitely the first step. The next thing I would suggest you try is what we in the field call radical empathy. So the number one thing that I want you to remember in the midst of this moment is that you are not on trial, that you are not solely responsible for the problem. If you're coming from an assertive stance, yes, you will want to hear what the other person's feelings are, but you also will not take 100% responsibility for what's happening in that moment. And so that means that you don't have to be defending yourself. You don't have to take the "you are being a jerk" message and say, "I'm not being a jerk," because then that whole thing just keeps going back and forth, like tossing that ball back and forth, throwing that dagger back and forth. Like, I don't want to catch the dagger, I'm gonna throw it to you, and then they throw it back to you, and so forth and so on. So having what we call radical empathy means that you don't have to take that and take responsibility for it. What you can do is say, I hear you that you are upset. I can see that this conversation is very difficult. I can see that you're angry. I hear you that you think that I don't care. Note, I didn't say, you're right, I don't care about you. But you can say, I hear that you think I don't care. That must be really hard. It must be really hard to think that I don't care about you. You know, you don't have to argue with them and say, I do care about you. That's so stupid. And you know, trying that, it's kind of scary because it may feel like you're agreeing with them. Like, you're right, I don't care about you. But you aren't saying that. You're saying, wow, that's tough. If that's something you believe, that's got to be a really hard place for you to be stuck. And you can say, I do care about you. You know, this conversation isn't about whether I care about you or not, you know. And then the empathy is speaking to the pain that you can see the other person experiencing. And it really does help deflect the argument. It helps deflect the energy without having to throw it back on them, because like I said, they can't tolerate it. They can't tolerate having all that responsibility. So throwing it back on them will just keep that cycle going. And ultimately, if you have to walk away, if somebody is being aggressive, if someone is really verbally or emotionally abusing you, it is okay to say, I really want to continue this conversation, but can we take a break? If everyone's flooded with emotion, if, you know, no one's at their best because they are flooded with emotion, taking a break is a absolutely reasonable request. There's so much here to unpack. I wish that I had more time with you guys, but in these little videos, they're just little nuggets. So keep sending me the questions because it's great. I'd love to answer them on the videos. It's a lot easier than typing out an entire answer. So I would really like maybe next time to talk about boundaries, because that is a concept that will help you understand also what's happening, because there are various types of boundaries that I'd like to delineate for you guys. So hopefully I'll be able to make another video tomorrow. If not, it'll definitely be the next day after that. And hopefully we'll just keep this conversation going. So please, if you have questions about what I'm saying, or you have some ideas that you would like to share, please put them in the comments and I will respond. All right. Thanks a lot. You guys have a great night, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.